Tuck in your cheeks. Fish. Make a fish face. Look at me. Ew. Now be a monkey.
What?
Be a monkey.
Be a monkey. I don't want to be a monkey.
Be a monkey. Scratch your butt or something.
I come to this. Now what should I be?
Be a Miss Pineapple.
Hello, my name is Miss Pineapple. May I ask who's calling?
Brian, Mitchell, goodbye.
Brian, Mitchell, goodbye. What?
What are you up to?
She's making club penguin.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I know. That's not, I'm just gonna
What are they doing over there?
Doing some
Amy, show us spotlight.
something. I'm not sure. Come check it out. Come here. Come on.
Alright, let's go check out what they're doing over there.
Watch me, Eminem.
Watching the M&M.
What is Riley saying now?
What is Riley doing?
I'm going to. Hey, another friend of yours is on.
Ah, crud, where'd he go?
I'm on Jobber.
Please
my
don't
God.
go. Wait, never mind. Oh my God, grow up, stupid.
Go to someone else already. Obviously,
I have no
that
comment.
person has mental issues.
No comment.
Grow
You
up.
guys are deranged. I'm going over there where there's more light. Rachel!
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Stuff.
Stuff? What kind of stuff? Dirty stuff? Pouring?
No.
You said dirty.
I know.
Club Penguin's dirty. You can talk nasty.
I'm gonna say
Say
something
hi,
disgusting.
sexy back.
Even though I don't mean it.
Ew, you want to have fun with me?
Here, so is it M&M's.
Oh my God, you guys are bad.